Always a pleasure to have an opportunity to share any wisdom I can, answer any questions I can from anyone.
Well, that's awesome to hear. I know it was great to catch up a few months back when I was out in Cleveland and briefly talk to you, but glad to finally have this show come about. First and foremost, a big game at the finals a couple of days ago. I was actually out there in Milwaukee. How's your week been so far?
Well, I was a little disappointed. One of my friends owns the Phoenix Suns, so I was disappointed. I really wanted to see them win, but it was a great game. Otherwise, I've been filming a couple of my TV shows. 2 Minute Drill is launched here on Bloomberg. We're in season 2, so you can check that out on Bloomberg or Amazon Prime. And then we were filming Office Hours during the championships as well. So everyone from Cameron Diaz to Marshall Falk to Apollo Ono to Tillman Fertitta, Vivek, the owner of the Kings. We just had the who's who of billionaires, millionaires, entrepreneurs, celebrities, athletes, entertainers, all sharing their wisdom on my new TV show. It's the first entrepreneurial late night show on Bloomberg called Office Hours.
There you go, guys. Go check it out. I want to talk about your background a little bit. So obviously you are the co-founder of Sports One Marketing alongside Mr. Warren Moon. You've done a lot of great things. Like you said just now, executive producer, of course, an author, former CEO of Steinberg Sports. You've really done it all. What do people not know about Mr. Meltzer?
I think a lot of people don't know that, the most important thing to me is to help people. So I'm the chief chancellor of Junior Achievement University. We have over 100 million alumni of young entrepreneurs from 15 to 25 years old. I was a Junior Achievement alumnus myself. I have my own 4 children that will leave my legacy by the lessons they've learned by watching me, not by listening to me, by watching me. I think, most people probably don't know. They think of a sports agent or a sports executive as a scarce individual, money focused. And for me, it's really about making a lot of money to help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. I'm on a mission to empower over 1 billion people on earth to be happy. Using values that I teach and daily practices that have evolved over the years from all the mistakes that I've made. I think that's the most important thing for people to look at. I've had a great professional journey. I've run, the world's first smartphone division at Samsung, the first Windows CE device way back in the 90s. I was a millionaire 9 months out of law school. I ran, like you said, Lee Steinberg Sports Entertainment. I've done movies, TVs, author, speaker, but my main mission is to help people be happy.
Yeah, like you said, empower over 1 billion people and provide one thing. That's the value. So that's something that we can always, expect when talking to you. Mr. Steinberg is somebody we've had on the show actually here at Global Kid Power Hour. Awesome guest talking about, of course, Jerry Maguire, the awesome movie everybody knows. I always have this interesting question. If you could make one movie on your life, what current movie that's out there would it relate the most to?
Well, I know it's one we relate to Lee, right? It'd be a combination of Weekend at Bernie's and Jerry Maguire. I call it Jerry Bernie Maguire or something like that. My life, I think, it would be The Greatest Showman. If you've seen that with Hugh Jackman. So I think, if you look at his, grew up with nothing like I did and was willing to risk everything, went bankrupt, built it all back and created a legacy, a spirit of excellence, to believe in yourself and to provide opportunities for others, be creative, and he, valued his family in the end. Like he learned that lesson like I have, that, money does not buy happiness. It allows you to shop. And if you learn to shop for the right things, not the things you don't need to impress people you don't like, but if you learn to shop for the right things, I build community centers in villages and help children and feed people, all the right things that I get to buy with my money, then you're going to be very happy.
Yeah, that goes back to the purpose. I think we do it all. You've obviously experienced success. That's something I hope to experience, but it all comes back to what do you do for the next person up? Because there's that next person who has aspirations, maybe not the means to do it yet. So what are we doing to provide that? Of course, I have you on my show. I'd love to come on your show at some point as well
Let's
and
do
share
it.
some of the things on my journey. Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk about the book. So I'm working on a process of writing my book as well right now, and you've obviously been a successful author. What advice do you have to people like me and other aspiring authors?
It's really simple. For me, writing a book is about the lessons you want to teach with the stories, right? So no matter fiction, nonfiction, if you are teaching lessons through stories, and then organizing those stories with some sort of overarching theme, you're going to have a successful book. And so I teach people, I coach people all around the world on how to write books, how to do speeches, interviews, because it's always about how powerful is your lessons, reflecting your frequency, strengthening your signal, knowing the spectrum or audience that you speak to, and of course having a clear message. As Lou Holtz, the famous coach from Notre Dame, said, it's not what I say, it's what they hear. And so we want to make sure that people are hearing what we mean to say, and the better we tell those stories and teach the lessons, the more inspired, in spirit people will be, the more appreciative they are, meaning the more value we'll add. When something appreciates, it goes up in value. Your house appreciates, it goes up in value. So you want your stories to appreciate the lessons, and then allow the listeners or the readers or the watchers to appreciate the lessons and take them to heart and inspire them. Remember, you've done a great job with this yourself, right? Empower others to empower others, elevate others to elevate themselves. And when you do elevate others, you will elevate yourself.
Absolutely, you get 100 people to empower 100 people. I'm not going to do the math on the spot. I don't know if I can, but that's
Yeah,
a
I
lot
got
of
one.
people.
I'm empowering 1,000 people like you to empower 1,000 to empower 1,000. 1,000 times 1,000 is a million times 1,000 is a billion. We'll create a collective consciousness together, you and I, of complete abundance and happiness to allow people to pursue their potential.
I think for me, one of the big goals starts with over 1 million kids that they can do anything they want at any age. I feel like we kind of put ourselves in this box that you got to be 30 or 40 to start doing what you love. And you know it well, when you start young, you're going to have a lot more experience. You talk about real world experience. Where else do you get that, right? In the classroom is important. School is very important. But you also need those outside things that can help you in the future. Throughout your years, how have things changed from when you were first young, starting to now? How have things kind of evolved?
Well, you have access to so much more. You have access to information. You have access to people. You have access to communities and lessons. The access is really what's changed at any time. And why is that important? Because that just reaffirms the greatest lesson that I teach children is the same lesson I teach myself, the same lesson I teach when I am a top business coach around the world. And it's ask for help. Because we have so much access that, when I was young and I'd ask for help, a normal person would have a card group or a church group or a golf group that they knew that may or may not be able to help us. But today, young people, my 11-year-old probably has 1,400 people in his network that could help me. You have thousands and thousands of people that could help me. So the best piece of advice that I can give, aligned with your question, is radical humility. Look, at a very young age, get in the habit of asking for help. Ask in person, on the phone, via email, social media. Ask every day. You can't ask big enough and you can't ask often enough. Ask for help. Find people that sit in the position that you want to be in. The fastest way to get to where you want to be, no matter what your age is find someone that's already there and ask them for directions. I have 5 daily practices that I teach aligned with this. 1, know your what. What do you want personally? What do you want experientially? Giving wise, receiving wise. Who? Who can I help with what I want, and who can help me? 3, how? How can I get there? Pay attention and give intention to what? The coincidences that you want, the mathematical equation of luck. Study your calendar. Study what you have planned, you don't have planned. Study your sleep. Study the activity you have and get paid for. Study the activity you don't get paid for. Number 4, know your now. The difference between successful people and everyone else is they get stuff done. 100% of the things you do now get done. Prioritize things by your what, your who, and your how. You'll know what to do now. And then finally, live your life to your highest potential. Enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. Live a life where you must be what you can be by applying your why, learning and finding the light, the love, and the lessons and everything. Find the light in what you do. You can do it. Apply your why to what you do. Don't be afraid, as you stated earlier. Go ahead, make mistakes, failures. The pain that you'll suffer, the struggles, the setbacks, the failures, they're not stop signs. They're turn signals. They're pushing you. It's a propeller. It's pushing you to a better place, a better situation. Not a stop sign trying to stop you. It's not punishment when you have pain and mistakes and failures. It's propelling you to your future self.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite chapters is going to be failure is the best way to learn how to succeed. And that aligns with what you're saying because even just now in Milwaukee, I didn't have game access. I don't get that respect yet. I'm 14 years old and people want to say, well, wait till you're 18, 20, maybe then you can do something. And to me, it's like, say no to me. That's fine. I respect it. But I'm still going to be there. I'm still at the game and I'm still trying to catch what I can outside the stadium. We didn't leave Milwaukee till 3 a.m and made a 2-hour road trip back to a family member in Chicago. So that's what it takes sometimes. And, I'm willing to do that. So, dealing with failure is just something better is going to come at the end of there's a light at the end of the tunnel
Hey man,
always.
they're gonna laugh at you, they're gonna scoff at you, they'll make fun of you, and then they'll applaud you. It's been the story of my entire life, and it's a good lesson to learn when you're 14. But keep on asking, keep on trying. Eventually, they'll applaud you.
I appreciate that. And one thing I talk about a lot too is the kid division of businesses. How do we get kids involved in everything? Like you said, the youth matters so much, our voice matters so much. How about with Mr. David Meltzer? What avenues can we do to start a kid division? What can we do to get kids involved with whether that's with sports one marketing, whether that's with any other endeavors you do? And of course, I'm the first one always ready to help.
You got it. Well, we have a great intern program, and we have now, because of the remote access, a remote plan that works for all ages. So whether you're interested in agentry, digital marketing, PR, whatever aspects of sports you're interested in, reach out to us, david@dmeltzer.com. We'd love to be of service or value. And then I'm also, like I said, Chief Chancellor of Junior Achievement University. So if you're 15 to 25 and want to learn about being an entrepreneur, learn financial literacy, reach out to me, david@dmeltzer.com. So whether you want to be an intern for me or be a part of Junior Achievement, we have many facets and assets of lessons that we can teach and empower you with.
There you go. Like you said, it's about asking, making sure you get that help. So for the kids watching, go reach out because you never know where it can take you. How one contact leads to another. And I say it all the time. Sometimes it's the janitor that can help you more than maybe the celebrity you're in front of because you never know who they know. And you don't know how much just saying hello can help someone. One of the first projects I ever did was when I was in fourth grade. I read a poem on the announcements at my high school. And I said, "You are a special person." And that was because every year there was a kid who was taking their life. There was a lot of mental health issues, like high schools all across America. And that just teaches you how much saying hello or being nice to someone can do. So always do those things.
It's funny because, when I ran Lee Steinberg Sports and Entertainment, all the agents would clamor over the head coaches and the parents and try to recruit the obvious people in the spheres of influence. I'd always make friends with the trainer. And the reason is that the trainer actually has the closest relationship to the players. 2, they have access to the locker room. 3, trainers never lose their job, the good ones. And coaches always lose their job. Parents will move on. But if you want to recruit the best players and get the most credibility with those players, build a relationship with the trainer, and nobody's paying attention to the trainer. Nobody's taking care of and complimenting and giving gifts to the trainer and giving them access to the thing. So I've made friends over the years with all the trainers, and it has been a huge benefit, not only to my sports agentry career, but in the sports marketing realm, the charitable realm, and of course in my own personal brand as well.
Absolutely. By the way, a lot of great quotes coming in the comments. Shout out to Real Dads Network. We had them on the show. They're amazing. What they do. I want to ask about NFCs and merch. So obviously, first of all, NFCs are something that are up and coming, really, really important right now. And I hope to, with my library of 1,500 celebrity interviews, I want to kind of launch something in the NFT world. And I'm sure that's something that not everyone completely knows exactly what it's about, but it's something that is very innovative. What have you found that's the most intriguing about the NFT world?
2 things. One is the commerce side of the authentication side of NFTs that goes to products themselves and being able to aggregate and reposit all the data behind a purchase. So there's a huge commerce side of NFTs that goes outside of collectibles that a lot of people don't understand that make it $1 billion platform, especially on the blockchain. So one is understanding technology in the commerce of it. And then two, on the collectible sides, there's a company, for example, called Creatify that has, to me, the picks and shovels that are necessary to be successful in NFTs. They are a platform, creates your NFT, it monetizes it and collects it, and it's a market for it. So end-to-end solution for NFTs, so that people, especially celebrities, athletes, entertainers, people like you that may or may not have the time to understand the end-to-end solution, can just go to Creatify, tell them what they want to create an NFT, and create a non-fungible token out of that, and then monetize it, create a marketplace for you, reposit it, bank it, secure it. So the commerce side and the platform side are the two areas that I think will do the greatest. I'm a picks and shovels person. I'm not a prospector.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that is a big question mark around, the NFTs that I want to do is the legal side of it, because, it would be both sides to it, that I'm talking to celebrities, so would I need their approval and that side of things. So that's something that we're still trying to figure out, but I definitely want to launch it by the end of the summer. I think it'll be really cool to get out there.
Yeah, reach out to Creatify. They can do it easily for you and answer those questions.
Absolutely. I got to do the segment with you. I do it with all my guests. It's called Flip the Switch. I have the person I'm talking to ask me a few questions. That's the classic Global Comedia segment. You want to do it?
Yeah, of course. I would love to.
If
I
we were
do
in
it.
person, I'd hand you over the mic.
You got it. Well, I do a few interviews every once in a while myself, so hopefully I won't get nervous. All right, number one, what inspires you?
I think what inspires me is just the looking at national television, looking at so many different fields and saying, why can't a kid do that? And then going up to kids and saying, have you thought about it? And being like, well, I thought I have to wait till I'm 20 or 30. And to me, it's like, you can do it now. And just thinking about that, man, if I have an opportunity to show those kids, that's what keeps me going constantly, is if I can be that example, the first one, and then kind of set the stage for kids to keep doing that, that would be huge.
A lot of people ask me what I would tell my 18-year-old self if I went back. I'm 53 years old to this year. I'm not today, but I'm 53. What advice do you have for me as a 53-year-old?
I would say, one, never limit yourself to say, well, now I'm this far, I can't start something now, it's too late. Because I see the opposite side of the spectrum constantly. Oh, I'm too young, and 53. First of all, I would have thought you were 35, but 53 is certainly still young to do anything. The second thing is, I see a lot of adults who say, well, we're in this industry, we've done it for so long. Who are you? Even to a 20, 30-year-old, who are you to try to do something? And I think the biggest thing is to understand the trends. And I know you know it very well, but this might be, advice for another 53-year-old out there, that understand the trends, understand how things are going right now, and have that perspective, because a lot of people don't. And I think perspective is the biggest thing, just to have positivity.
One more shift on that question. So instead of everyone asking me, what would I tell my 18-year-old self? What do you think you're going to say when you're 53 years old and somebody asks you, what would you tell your 18-year-old self? What do you think you would tell your 18-year-old self when you're 53?
Man, well, I don't know what I tell my 18-year-old self now. I've got 4 more years until then, but I think looking back at it when I'm 53, whether I'm looking back to when I was 18 or 14, I would say I'm always going to look back, and whatever happens, I'll never regret it, because wherever I am at 53, whether that's up here, whether that's here, whatever, I think everything will have happened for a reason, and I can't be more thankful and have more gratitude for the experiences that I have had. The good, the bad, the ugly. Something Snoop Dogg once told me. You gotta appreciate all of it, because those experiences are just priceless.
You nailed it. And then what's the best piece of advice or the thing you look up most about your dad?
About my dad, I'd say his persistence that he's installed in me, always, no matter what situation we're in, he's like, we've come this far, we're going to get it done. And I think that's something that it's just contagious for me because I grew up around it. And whether that's in the classroom, whether that's, on the sports field, especially sometimes you think about, man, I'm 99 yards, I got one more yard to go. Or when we're out at an event and covering something, it's 3 a.m. and he says, one more hour, let's get it done, let's knock it down, let's find this person. And I was talking down and sitting for a while with Mr. Stephen A. Smith after the game, and that was something again. It'll be in the book how that happened. It was just walking into a hotel, there he is, and sitting down with him and talking for a while. So, none of that would happen without that persistence. None of that would happen if I just said, man, it's 2 a.m., let's leave. So I think that comes all from my dad.
I love it. Now, he's not going to like this question, but I have to ask it. My father taught me some extraordinary lessons, passed down genetically and situationally, some amazing advice with persistence as well and communication. But he also had some bad habits. And I learned a lot of lessons from those bad habits. What's one of the things that you've learned from your father from what you don't want to do when you get older that he does?
I would say it goes back to persistence still. I think this is one thing that we're kind of learning together sometimes is where that line is. Because some people say the more persistence, the better. Some will say, now you're a pest. And I've gotten called a pest my share of times. And I think, me and my dad have both been there. So that might be one thing that, I think I'll learn it over the years, where to draw that line a little bit between bugging someone and making sure something happens. And it's still something I admire, the persistence, but it can get to people sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I always say you can't ask big enough, you can't ask often enough. But, I will tell you this. I know this is true to be in digital media, some advice. I always say, until you have been a pest to the people that love you the most, you haven't posted enough. That's the bare minimum. Until you've been a pest or you annoy the people who love you, you haven't posted enough. There's not enough content out there. Nobody knows who you are. If you haven't annoyed at least one person that loves you, that's just not enough. Last question, okay?
Yep.
What question should I ask you?
You can ask whatever you want. You can
What?
ask anything. I'm prepared for anything.
Yeah, which one should I ask? Tell me the best question I can ask you.
I'd say the best question you could ask me is maybe what advice would I give to another young person?
All
Another
right.
young person out there.
You've
So,
had an extraordinary journey. You have been all over with the biggest names in sports, entertainment, etc. Uh, what advice would you pass on to someone your age
or even younger, I would just
or
say,
younger?
don't let it get to you. Don't let anything get to you. I've been kicked out of places. I've been told whatever. You zone it out, and I think that's again where the people that matter most to you come in. Listen to those supporters, and don't listen to what the doubters say, but remember that. Remember what they said, and then one day you're gonna look back and say, you didn't need to flex anything, but you'll be able to say they doubted me. Look where I am now. So always remember the bad times, but listen to the good ones because it'll get you far.
Pay attention to what you want, not what you don't want, or what other people want for you. What's missing, or any other interference caused by the ego-based consciousness, you will be far greater and further along. People will laugh at you, people will scoff at you, people will make fun of you, but eventually they'll applaud you. Stick to what you know. Enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of your potential. I appreciate your time, my friend. Thank you so much. Say hi to your father for me.
Absolutely. Listen, you take care. We'll talk about some of the topics we talked about here through email and through some correspondence. I appreciate your time. It's always a pleasure to catch up with you and see all the great things that you're doing. And I love your help to get some of your amazing guests and some of the amazing people you work with on the show.
Yeah, come on my show so they can see you and they'll all come flocking towards you. Use your own frequency and vibration to attract them, allow them into your life. And of course, I always make those recommendations for you.
I appreciate that. You see the man, go follow him, go listen to all his great content and all the great advice he has. Listen, we're going to power over 1 billion people and we're going to provide value every day. Thank you, Mr. Meltzer.
You got to be kind to your future self, do good deeds. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We're checking out from Global Kid Power Hour. Bye.